Alhamdulillah.
All praise is due to Allah. Submission to Him is granted honor by His support, and rejection of Him is defeated by His invincibility. He controls all affairs and decrees all matters, yet people still do not give Him the reverence He deserves. I praise Allah as He is perfect in every way. I am grateful to Him for His continuous blessings and favors. I testify that none has the right to be worshipped except Allah alone, without any partner. We have no Lord except Him, and none deserves our worship besides Him. I further testify that our leader and prophet Muhammad is Allah's worshipping servant and messenger. Allah expanded his heart to bear the duty of messengership and enabled him to complete his task. May Allah grant commendation, protection, and blessings to His messenger, as well as to the messenger's esteemed family, prominent companions, and all who follow their path for as long as the earth and sky continue to exist. My dear audience, I counsel all of you as well as myself to observe taqwa of Allah by fulfilling His commands and avoiding His prohibitions. May Allah grant all of you His mercy. Continue to observe taqwa of Allah and realize that silence reflects confidence at times of victory, reflects strength at times of anger, and leads to productivity while work is in progress. Silence reflects dignity when one may feel like mocking, respect when being offered counsel, and perseverance when sad. The truly impoverished is the one who lacks sound conduct, not the one who only lacks money. Allah knows the rotten apart from the wholesome, as well as the corrupt apart from the righteous. He ultimately makes truth known as truth and falsehood as falsehood. He grants salvation to those who set matters in order by telling others to avoid wrong, and He grants those who obey Him guidance in addition to the guidance they already have. Allah keeps the people of Iman steadfast in this world and in the hereafter by way of the word that stands firm. Allah also leaves astray those who commit the injustice of worshipping others besides Him, and Allah does whatever He wills. Dear Muslims, wealth is something that life revolves around. Life's root, completion, happiness, and dignity are tied to it. Wealth is what allows a person to have food, drink, clothing, and dwelling. Wealth affords him means of being fed, clothed, sheltered, and defended. Wealth is required as it relates to health, knowledge, strength, construction, and authority. Allah decreed that wealth be linked to livelihood and living. In fact, He made it a foundation of life. He said, "Do not give your wealth to those under your care if they are not competent to independently handle it." This wealth is what Allah has made a foundation of people's livelihood and dwelling. The foundation of something is what protects it and keeps it in order. Thus, wealth is a foundation of livelihood as well as all general and personal well-being. Consequently, the preservation of wealth is a major objective of Islam's teachings, and it is one of 5 necessities that Islam treats as indispensable. Wealth is mentioned in the Quran more than 80 times. In some instances, Allah referred to wealth using the Arabic word khayr, which refers to a thing that is good. He said, the human's love for khayr, wealth, is truly intense. Allah also referred to wealth with the same word in His statement, "Messenger of Allah, your companions ask you what they should give from their property as a deed that would bring them near to Allah. Tell them, give whatever is feasible for you from khayr, your lawfully earned wealth." The same word was used in the statement of Allah, "When any person among you begins to experience the initial stages of death, and he has a good deal of khayr, wealth, which he will leave behind, Allah is obligated that the person fairly bequeath some of his property to his 2 parents, as well as his relatives." My dearly beloved audience, wealth has indisputable significance. An authentic hadith states, it is not permissible to take the wealth of a Muslim unless he gives it willingly. If someone deliberately lies when swearing an oath in order to unlawfully take any wealth that belongs to his Muslim brother, that person will meet Allah while Allah is angry with him. This is collected by Bukhari and Muslim. Another hadith states, if a person loses his life while defending his wealth, he is considered a martyr. This is collected from Sa'id ibn Zayd, may Allah be pleased with him. Dear Muslims, out of Allah's kindness and favor to His servants, He blessed them with wealth. Allah informed us that His Prophet Nuh stated, thus I told the people, seek forgiveness from your Lord, as He is certainly always forgiving. If you do so, He will send rain upon you in abundance, grant you increase in wealth and children, bestow upon you gardens, and bestow upon you rivers. Allah, the most majestic and exalted, also said, if a person observes taqwa, Allah will give him a way out of every difficulty and provide for him from where he never anticipated. Furthermore, Allah said about His Prophet Muhammad, may Allah grant him commendation and protection, did Allah not find you poor, then enrich you? In addition, the Prophet, may Allah grant him commendation and protection, once told Amr ibn al-As, may Allah be pleased with him, wholesome wealth is a remarkable blessing for a wholesome individual. The Prophet, may Allah grant him commendation and protection, also said, no wealth benefited me the way Abu Bakr's wealth has. Yet another authentic hadith mentions that some of the companions had said, the wealthy have made off with all the rewards. A further hadith states, the giving hand is more virtuous than the receiving one. The longest ayah in the Quran has to do with the organization, recording, and preservation of wealth. Allah said, people of Iman, when you loan money to others for a defined period, you are to put the terms of the loan in writing to the end of the ayah. In addition, reflect upon the blessings Allah mentioned in His statement, a person must contemplate the food he consumes. We send water down in abundance, then we cleave the earth open, and we cause various types of plants to grow from it, grains, grapes, foliage for animals, olives, date palms, dense gardens with many trees, fruits, as well as pasture. We created all of that to benefit you and your livestock. Allah also said, we send down from the sky water that contains many benefits, and by that rain we produce gardens, grains that are reaped, and tall date palms which bear clusters arranged in layers. All of that is provision for our servants. Allah also mentioned those who travel to seek His bounty along with those who struggle in His path. Allah said, others who travel through the land seeking provision from Allah, and others who fight in Allah's path. The esteemed scholar Ibn al-Qayyim, may Allah have mercy upon him, made a profound, comprehensive remark about wealth and its significance. And one of the things he said is that Allah informed us that He made wealth a foundation of people's lives. He instructed them to preserve it, and He forbade them from giving it to anyone, whether man, woman, or child, who cannot handle it competently on their own. We already mentioned the hadith in which the Prophet, may Allah grant him commendation and protection, said, wholesome wealth is a remarkable blessing for a wholesome individual. On that note, we find that Sa'id ibn Musayyib said, there is no goodness in a person who does not want to acquire wealth by permissible means in order to preserve his own dignity, prevent him from asking of others, uphold his ties of kinship, and give the wealth the right it deserves. Sufyan al-Thawri said, wealth in this time of ours is a weapon for a person who has Iman. Yusuf ibn Asbat said, since the beginning of this world, there was no time when wealth provided as much benefit as it does in our time. The outcome of wealth is just like how a horse can be a source of protection for one person and sin for another. Dear Muslims, among the benefits of wealth mentioned by Ibn al-Qayyim are that it provides support for worshipping and obeying Allah, facilitates Hajj, as well as jihad, legitimate military struggle in Allah's path, and allows for obligatory and optional acts of giving. It allows for the establishment of endowments, as well as the construction of mosques, bridges, and other structures. It allows people's true dignity and generosity to be exhibited. It preserves people's integrity and fosters ties between siblings and friends. It allows the righteous to attain the highest of ranks and be in the company of those upon whom Allah bestows His favor. It is a ladder by which one can ascend to the highest levels of Jannah, or, if misused, topple to the lowest of depths. It even helps the respectable stay respected. Some of the Salaf, the foremost generation of Islam, commented, respect does not come about without actions, and actions do not come about without wealth. Some of them also supplicated, O Allah, I am one of your worshipping servants who is left in disorder when without wealth. Wealth can be a means to pleasing Allah as well as angering Him. Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Az-Zubair, and Abdurrahman ibn Auf, may Allah be pleased with them and with all of the companions, were among the most virtuous of the companions, although they were wealthy. The effects they had in upholding Islam were greater than those of Ahl al-Sufa, the poor and homeless who lived in a portion of the Masjid of Allah's Messenger, may Allah grant him commendation and protection. Additionally, Allah's Messenger, may Allah grant him commendation and protection, warned against wasting wealth, and he stated that a person leaving his heirs well off is better than leaving them poor. He also informed us that any time a person with wealth spends from it sincerely, seeking to please Allah, that person would attain an additional rank in standing with Allah. Dear Muslims, wealth has a major role in maintaining the order of life and producing progress and development. Without it, the world would not remain in order. Giving would end and development would collapse. Although wealth itself is very important, every individual is accountable for how he acquires his wealth and how he uses it. Wealth is not an end in and of itself. Rather, it is a means to spending, fostering commerce, investing, bringing about benefit for people, and sincerely seeking to please Allah and attain His bounty. Allah said, a division has been prescribed so that wealth is not monopolized by the rich among you, such that it only flows among them, while the poor are left deprived. All wealth ultimately belongs to Allah. He said, give them from the wealth of Allah, which He has bestowed upon you. The wealth in a person's hand is merely for safekeeping. It is not actually his. Allah said, give from the wealth which Allah granted you. When a person acquires wealth by permissible means, that is when Allah places blessing in it for him. Wealth is a blessing from Allah that allows life to continue, and Allah instructed us to acquire it in ways He permitted and spend it in ways He permitted. It is not something to be entirely rejected in and of itself. On the contrary, it may be a means to much goodness. Effort in this world is not confined to focusing on the hereafter while neglecting one's livelihood. In fact, livelihood itself leads to the hereafter and assists one in attaining the best of it. This world is where the seeds for the hereafter are sown. Sulaiman ad-Darani said, to us, worship does not mean only lining up your feet while someone else provides for you. Rather, secure your 2 pieces of bread first and then devote yourself to worship. Thus, wealth is indeed among the greatest blessings in both the religious and mundane realms. My dear brothers, the love humans have for wealth is part of their innate nature. Allah said, your love to hoard wealth is truly intense. Allah also said, the human's love for wealth is truly intense. The desire to acquire and own is among the strongest inclinations within a human. Allah instructed His Messenger, may Allah grant him commendation and protection, take from their wealth an amount to be given in charity, which would cleanse them of their sins, and by which you would raise them to the ranks of those who are sincere to Allah. In addition, an authentic hadith states, wealth does not decrease from giving charity. Servants of Allah, something else that protects wealth is avoiding consuming the impermissible. This is done by staying away from things such as theft, bribery, deception in transactions, gambling, deliberately ruining people's property, and all forms of impermissible wealth. All of a Muslim is inviolable to another Muslim, his life, property, and dignity. Wealth is a companion of life and dignity. We were also instructed to safeguard the wealth of orphans and those under our guardianship. Allah said, give all relatives the kind treatment that is due to them, and also extend kindness to the needy and to stranded travelers. Do not squander your wealth on anything which is tantamount to disobeying Allah. People who squander their money to disobey Allah are brothers of shayateen, and shaitan is always extremely ungrateful to his Lord. May Allah bless us all by the glorious Quran and guidance of Muhammad. May Allah grant commendation and protection. I say this much and I ask Allah to forgive me, you, and all Muslims for all sins. Thus seek forgiveness from Allah, as He is certainly most forgiving, bestower of mercy. All praise is due to Allah. By His wisdom, He regulates all matters concerning His servants. By His favor, He directed them to the path of sound guidance. I praise Allah as He is perfect in every way, and I'm grateful to Him for His continuous and ever-increasing blessings. I testify that none has the right to be worshipped except Allah alone without any partner. He is exalted above having any equal or likeness. I further testify that our leader and Prophet Muhammad is Allah's worshipping servant and messenger. He was the most virtuous prophet and guide. May Allah grant commendation and protection to His messenger as well as to the messenger's family, noble companions, and all who continue to follow their path until the day of return to Allah. Dear Muslims, Allah made wealth a means of preserving the body. Preserving the body leads to preserving the soul. The soul is the sight of knowing about Allah, having sound beliefs about Him, accepting Allah's messengers, loving Allah, and repenting to Allah. Wealth is the means to developing this world and the hereafter. However, wealth becomes a detrimental thing when it is acquired in ways prohibited by Allah, when it is spent in ways prohibited by Allah, when it enslaves a person, and when it takes control of his heart. It is also detrimental when it diverts a person from Allah and the hereafter. It is blameworthy when the person who has it uses it for corrupt objectives and allows it to take him away from praiseworthy ones. Thus, the real source of blame is the person using the wealth, not the wealth itself. Dear Muslims, this is why wealth can be a source of trial and transgression. The Quran explains this to us very clearly. Allah said it is absolutely true that the defiantly disobedient human violates the limits set by Allah. That is because he thinks he has no need for Allah. Furthermore, Allah said, your properties and your offspring are nothing less than a trial for you in this world. Whereas Allah has tremendous reward in store for those who give obeying Him precedence over being preoccupied with obeying others besides Him. Therefore, you must do everything that is within your ability to observe taqwa of Allah. In addition, you must listen to the Messenger, obey His commands, avoid His prohibitions, and give from what Allah has provided you with. May Allah grant all of you His mercy. Ensure that you use the wealth Allah provides you with to obey Him, and ensure that you safeguard it as Allah instructed you to do. In conclusion, invoke Allah to grant His commendation and protection to our Prophet. Allah instructed us to do so when He said, indeed, Allah grants His commendation to the Prophet, and the angels invoke Allah to grant him even further commendation. People of Iman, invoke Allah to grant the Prophet commendation and grant him protection as well. Allah grant your commendation and protection to your worshipping servant, as well as his immaculate family, his wives who are the mothers of the people of Iman, and his companions in general. Allah be pleased with the Prophet's four rightly guided successors, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and Ali, as well as all of the companions and those who follow them until the day of reckoning. O Allah, grant strength to Islam and its people. O Allah, grant strength to Islam and its people. Weaken shirk and those engaged in it, and defeat the oppressive, those who deny you, and all who are enemies of your religion. O Allah, grant us safety in our nations, and make our leaders people who are righteous. O Allah, Lord of all creation, make our leaders people who fear you, observe taqwa of you, and seek to please you. O Allah, bestow your guidance upon our leader, the custodian of the two holy mosques. Honor him by his obedience to you, raise your word by him, and make him a means of support for Islam and his people. O Allah, guide him, his deputy, their brothers, and their aides to all that you love and are pleased with. O Allah, Lord of all creation, guide the leaders of Muslims to act in accordance with your book and the sunnah of your messenger. Make them a source of mercy for your worshipping servants, and unite them upon truth and guidance. O Allah, rectify the conditions of Muslims in all places. Protect their lives. Unite them upon guidance, the truth, and the sunnah. Grant authority to the best among them, and protect them from the worst among them. Spread safety, justice, and prosperity throughout their lands. Protect them from all evils and turmoil, whether apparent or hidden. O Allah, support our brothers who defend the borders of our nation. Grant them firm resolve and determination. Grant them victory over those who transgress against them. O Allah, protect them from in front, from the rear, from the right, from the left, from above them, and we seek refuge with you from them being infiltrated from beneath them. O Allah, we implore you to accept their efforts and to care for those whom they have left behind. O Allah, grant your support to the downtrodden, our brothers in Palestine, Syria, Burma, Yemen, and all other places. O Allah, grant them your care and grant them your support. O Allah, we beseech you to grant them your care. O Allah, we call upon you to exact retribution from those who are tyrannical and oppressive, as well as all who support them. O Allah, we ask you to exact retribution from the occupiers in Palestine, as they cannot escape you. O Allah, we call upon you to subject them to your wrath, which cannot be averted from a people who are sinful. O Allah, we implore you to grant us your forgiveness and to grant us your mercy. Our Lord, we have certainly wronged ourselves, and if you do not forgive us and have mercy upon us, we will most surely be among those who lose everything. Our Lord, grant us good in this world, grant us good in the hereafter, and protect us from torment in the hereafter, the torment of the hellfire. And all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of all creation.